Monday. Hi, welcome. It's nice to feel all of you. I feel you out there. I hope you're all doing well. I am, as always, interested in Wim Hof breathing, so we're going to start there. But my friends, I found this video this weekend, which I just want everybody's email address in the world, and I want to send it to everyone, of Wim Hof talking about the neuroscience of this breath practice and what it does. And a lot of you know that I've been working with my own mental health very, very closely over the last year, really looking at that. And this breath practice has been by far the best thing I found for my own mental health. And since everybody seems to be struggling with similar symptoms to what I've been dealing with as well, I'd like to share this with all of you. So we're going to do it not just once today, not just in the beginning of the practice, but we're going to do this 3 separate times. I'm that obsessed with this breath. We're going to do it to start. We'll have a little intermission in the middle and do it again, and then we'll do it at the end to seal the practice off as we fall into Shavasana. So I'd like to demonstrate it for you sitting upright, just so we can talk about it a little bit, but then we're going to lie down and get comfy to do this breath on our backs. It's a simple breath that you can do a couple of different ways. The best way to do it is probably to breathe in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. Now, if you can't breathe through your nose really easily, then you get to choose to breathe through your mouth. And some people find that gives them dry mouth or makes them feel like they have to cough. So if that's you, just stick your tongue to the back of your teeth and make a T sound before you inhale like this. And that'll stop that dry mouth or the cough from having to happen for most of us. All right, so big full inhales. The exhales are totally relaxed. The inhales are really thorough. The exhales are not very thorough. We're gonna press the inhale, which gets a little bit stressful on the body, but it's a very good kind of stress that will help boost your immune system. And at the end of these 30 rounds that we'll take, I'll talk you through some breath holding that we call kumbhaka, or retention of the breath. Sanskrit word, kumbhaka. Fall into the floor. And take a nice sigh of relief when you're ready. Big inhale. Let it fall out of you. Now we'll begin. It's about halfway. Start to slow it down. Drag it out. Heavy legs. Last 3. Biggest ever. Let this last one fall out of you. Let it keep going out and out. Press the breath out until it's empty. And hold empty lungs. Try to lift up on your pelvic floor muscles like you have a suction cup and all of those muscles that you use to prevent elimination from happening. Suction those up and everything between them, but let your hips and your legs stay heavy. You're going to hold your breath out for as long as you can. Your mind is going to go into panic mode first. Tell your mind with your consciousness, this is okay. We've just pumped ourselves full of oxygen. We'll be fine. But when your body says it's time, your body starts to panic, that's stress mode. We don't want that. Let your body breathe. Let it go, be free. And do whatever you need to do to feel like you've recovered from that. Or cough, or clear your throat, or lift your lips and swallow, or water is good here. There is one more Kumbhaka. We're going to take a massive inhale, followed by a complete and thorough exhale. You don't have to hold it out. Then we're going to take a huge inhale and hold at the top, full lungs. So when you're ready, big breath in. All the way out. All the way, all the way, all the way out. And then all the way in. And hold. Try to relax around this moment and then take another big sip in and hold that. You're going to keep holding this for as long as you can again. Don't worry about my cues. If I move on with things, you keep holding, that's great. If you need to breathe before I finish, that's great. Now you can try lifting up on your pelvic floor here to really open up your primary energy channel. We call it Sushumna Nadi. Lift your pelvic floor muscles, tone in your low belly, and puff up your superhero chest. Tuck your shoulder blades under your heart and spread your chest wide and lift it high. And when you have to breathe, breathe and let everything soften. Your pelvic floor releases. Your whole body melts like butter on a warm frying pan into the floor. Let it go. And do what needs to be done to feel like you've recovered. As I often like to start my practices physically, we're going to move into the back of the body first in bridge pose. Bend your knees, put your feet on the ground. Let's wake up the glutes as the foundation of our core. Push into your feet and lift your pelvis up off the earth. Your feet are about hip width apart and parallel. Your arms can be in whatever position you prefer them to be in. Bent elbows, long arms interlaced, or even wide arms. Your neck is long on all sides. And you're hugging in with your core muscles as you lift your tailbone and hug your thighs to the midline. Now just try shimmying your feet over to the right. So you might go heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe on each leg. And take your legs over as far to the right as you would like. Really lift up your left hip. Push into your heel and squeeze your glute. Still breathing. That's why you primed your diaphragm. Walk your feet back to the center of your mat. And take that same little tour, that little vacation over to the left off the mat. Anybody else getting cabin fever? Let's get off the mat for a while. Press into your right heel, lift the hip up a little higher, squeeze the glute, opening the front of your hip crease. Saturate this whole line of your body with breath, like your lungs go all the way down to your knee and down. Then walk your feet back to the center. You're digging into your footprints. You're lifting your tail. You can reach your arms up and overhead toward the back of your mat and past. Keep reaching them back and lift your heels up. Take a big breath in. Keep your pelvic floor engaged as you roll down. Smooth your back to the floor like you're smoothing contact paper onto a shelf. You don't want any bubbles. When you get to the bottom, bring your arms by your sides. Lengthen your spine and pick up your legs. You can hold anywhere from your knees to your feet for happy baby. Bring your elbows between your thighs. Pull down with your shoulder heads, down with your feet as you pick up into your hands. Rockabye baby. I'm going to take a little twist. So first, twist over to your right side and bring both feet down to the ground. Hold your opposite foot with hand, even if you have to bend your knee a lot. And if you just can't reach your foot, no problem, hold your shin or your knee. Then take your bottom leg, that's the right one, and take it down along your mat. You can keep your both knees really bent as you like as you twist around to the left. Roll to the left side. Now, if you find that your shoulder is off the floor and your hand is on the floor, bring your arm around, put your hand behind your head, and then roll open to the left. Broaden your collarbones. You can kick into your right hand as much as you like if you'd like a little extra work. With your left leg bent or straight, take your right leg down long, tighten into your core, and lift your right leg up off the ground.
We're gonna do a funny flow out of this. So if you're holding your left leg with your right hand, let it go. You're gonna take your left leg down toward your right foot. You're gonna take your left arm up over your head and roll onto your side. Stretch long through both your limbs, your left limbs in opposite directions. And even funnier still, you're gonna keep your left arm going out in front of you. Your left leg will go behind you, bend your knee. You might even bring your toes to the floor. You can just roll your left hip back a little and get this other soft twist, or you can bring your left hand back toward your left foot. Pull your foot in. You might find you have to roll toward your belly so you don't fall backward, and pull your knee back in space. Some of you might feel ready already at this point to bring your foot to the floor, your shin to the ground. Your foot will end up to the outside of your hip. This is a big stretch down the front of your thigh. So if you're feeling it in your knee, this is not for you today. You can start toward it, but don't press your knee toward it. Just take another breath or two here, wherever you are. And you're gonna sweep yourself out of that posture, whichever one you had chosen, and come onto your back again. Just a little bit of core love before we move to the second side. Come up onto your forearms. Bring your elbows back behind your own shoulders. Knees up, feet to the ground. Tighten in through your belly like you've got a corset on. And make sure that you're trying to lift your chest up. It's really tempting to sink down into your shoulder joints here, right? Get your chest up. Find a longer spine. And then lift your legs up and squeeze them together. Now you can keep your legs as bent as you would like for this, and you can stretch them out and bring them back. More challenge, straighten your legs. You can stay down right on your forearms the whole time and just press your chest high as you squeeze your legs together and lower, only to the point where you feel this in the front and deep in your core, not in your back. So the point is not to go low. The point is where you feel this. If you're feeling it in the back of your body, especially your mid or low back, you're not doing this well. You want to back up. You don't need to take your legs down all the way. But if you can get down here, you still feel it right here and deep inside your core. That's great. Bring all the way back up. You can also add to this by when you lift up, lifting your upper body up to your hands. Keep pressing your chest up. I know it's tempting to come up with shoulder touch. Press your chest up and then go back. We'll just take about 4 more. Now bend your knees, feet to the ground. Move your arms out of your way and lie down on your back and do whatever feels like relief in your body. And when you're ready to move on, we're going to pick up the legs, lengthen the spine, and take happy baby for the second side of that little twisty flow. Rockabye baby. Long neck. Pull your shoulder heads toward the earth. And at some point, you're going to rock your baby over to the left side. And once you're there, it's my favorite move, really. Once you're there, you're going to hold opposite hand to foot or shin or knee. Take your other leg down along your mat. Bend your right knee as much or as little as you would like. Most of you will feel better if you pick your foot up to the height of your hip and not let it come down to the floor, because it can be a little too much on your SI joint. Take your right arm and twist your upper body open to the right. Now, if your hand gets to the floor and not your shoulder, especially if you're feeling this right in your shoulder joint, we don't like it. Bring your arm around, put your hand behind your head, and open your elbow wide. Twist open to the right. Now, if you want that little extra core integration, lift up on your pelvic floor and lift your left leg up. Funny exit. Let go of your leg if you were holding with your left arm. Your right arm, the one that you're twisting or looking toward, your right arm goes up over your head as your right leg goes down by your left leg. You're coming onto your side body. Stretch through your right limbs. You can tuck your left limbs in as much as you need. Now your right arm keeps going out in front of you for balance. Your right leg is gonna reach back behind you, and someday your toes might even touch the floor. You can be on top of your left arm, see how I've got it tucked under me, or you can have it out in front of you. It's personal preference for your shoulders. From here, you have options. I like to move my left arm out from under me here. So if it was tucked, you might move it and make a pillow. You can reach back and hold your same foot with hand. Bring your foot to your bun and roll a little toward your belly so you don't fall back. Kick your knee back behind your hip. Some of you will like the version where you start to come down, pointed foot to the floor. Not everybody's joints will love that. Yes, your back will be arched when you come down. Only come down if you don't feel this in your knee. You want to feel this through the belly of your muscles, maybe into your head. Take another breath or two where you've chosen to be. Wherever that was, you're going to unwind and come out and roll onto your back. Last bit of core. Bring your knees up over your hips, arms out wide, like you have a T shape in your body. You've got your knees at 90 degrees above your hips. You're never going to let your feet drop below your knee height because that's going to change everything in how you're using your core and you'll be missing the point of the practice. So bring your feet up to the level of your knees. I recommend either pointing or flexing your feet, but use them, like spread them open wide, really wake them up. Feet are alive here. Palms face up, tuck your shoulder blades well under your heart and knit your ribs together. You get a little nest on. You are breathing, your core ebbs and flows with your breath. Keep your shoulder blades anchored. Take your knees slowly over to the right. Now, if you're struggling with this at all, you could grab a pillow or a block or something to stick between your shins. I recommend shins, not knees, as you squeeze, because if you put it between your thighs or your knees, what will happen is you'll end up with your legs turning outward a little bit, and that's going to work the wrong part of your body through the parts that are already achy, right? I want you to get in deep into the core. So really parallel legs, knees and ankles are the same width the whole time. And you're using this anchoring of your shoulders and your twisting abdominals, we call the obliques, to help you slowly move back and forth in your twist. And I now encourage you with your lengthening breath, just take it 2 or 3 notches slower than you were going already. Maybe even slower than that. You know you're going the right speed when your body gets slightly irritated at how slowly you're going. Just a little irritation. Where you're pushing up against your inner toddler. It's like, I don't want to go that slow. Breathe. That little bit of irritation is your ego saying, hey, I can't survive if you're paying attention to the present moment. Knock it off. And we want to get past the ego, and that's where all this change can happen. That's where you really comes through. So take about 2 or 3 more sets like this, keeping into the core and going nice and slow to get past what your mind thinks it knows. Listen in with curiosity. I know all my yoga teachers out there know this game well. Especially as a yoga teacher, we like to think our minds, our egos are the worst. They think they know. We don't know. We have to listen to the body, always. And when you finish your sets and you feel like you've met your challenge, you're ready to come down, let your legs relax and just feel into that nice, strong core of yourself that you've been creating. The imprint of that work. Heavy, heavy legs. Yogi and Yogini's choice of a little journey all the way up and around. Straight into downward facing dog, please. However you want to get there is great. Any movements along the way are very welcome. I really miss music in my classes, you guys. I'm going to make it happen one of these days. We're going to have a party class where we just play music. From your dog. Broaden across your shoulder blades. Really dig into your finger pads and your knuckles. You're going to lift up high onto the balls of your feet. Stretch through your arches and take a nice breath in. Then soak your heels back toward or into the earth. Do it a time or 2 more. Your knees are as bent as you need to find an exquisitely long spine. We're gonna roll a few times here. So push off the heels onto the balls of your feet. Roll from your tailbone through to the crown of your head into plank pose. Bend your knees, place them gently on the ground, and hug to the midline as you lift your chest and lower your hips. Your belly is still toned up against your spine. Your shoulders are going toward the back of your body. Elbows are unlocked. Push into the earth and lift your proud superhero chest. The next time you exhale, lift your pelvic floor and low belly and then press yourself up through plank. Scoop your hips backward, under and up, and find your downward facing dog. We're gonna do that again 2 more times, a little more fluidly, so you can feel free to flow on your own timing. Perhaps inhales forward. Exhales, King Cobra. Scoop it back to dog with the inhale. Then start to walk your hands and feet toward each other in the middle of the mat. Bend your knees generously and allow your head to come down into your fold. Push your heels into the earth, bend your knees and roll up, rounding spine, tail dripping down. Head is the last thing to the top. And when they get there, roll your shoulders forward and up, back and down. Reach your arms out wide and up high to the sky, in breath. Out breath, elbows wide, chest up. You've got goalpost arms. Inhale, reach high to the sky. Do it again. Dig through your heels, tail down, chest up, elbows wide. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, press open. Inhale, reach up. Sit to chair. Reach backward with your hips and sit into your heels. Keep lengthening up through your whole spine, lifting your ribcage off your pelvis. Try to tear your mat into 2 pieces with your feet, especially your heels. Reach your tail back farther. We're going to flow into half chair. Inhale to find length. Exhale, half chair. Inhale, length. Half chair. Once more, lift and lengthen, full chair. Still trying to tear the mat apart with your feet, half chair. Reach that chest forward, belly tone. Now push down and stand all the way up, reach up high. This time you're going to come down with your right arm and lean over to your right. Push through your heels and come all the way back up. Inhale to the top. Left arm down, right arm up and over, lean left. Press your hips off to the right, lift out of your waist. And come back up with your long breath in. This time, you're going to go over to the right side, bend your knees, drip your spine down sideways. Left arm comes down and sweeps you through the center. Your belly is pulling as you go to the left. Push through your heels, lift your right arm and help yourself all the way back up to the top. Left arm meets your right. And with your exhale, you're going to do exactly the opposite. Left arm down and ripple down the side of your body. Arms to the bottom as you pass through center, then come up from the right. Left arm takes over, reach high to the sky. Inhale, reach up. Hands to heart center as you ground. Put your weight back into your heels where it belongs. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, twist your upper body to the right. Just your upper body. So notice if you're trying to go back with you. Can you bring your hip forward, ground through your heels, twist with your core strength like we did on the floor. And with an exhale, your right arm goes down and forward, both arms lift up on an inhale. Twist your upper body to your left as you exhale, above your waistline twisting. A little longer with your next inhale, a little deeper into your twist with your next exhale. Bring the left arm down. On an inhale, both arms come forward and up. Bend your knees, bow the long spine to your fold. Lift your spine up halfway, lengthen out. Knees are still unlocked. Then drape your long spine down with a heavy head. Step just your left foot back and lower your knee down to the earth. Dig into the floor, root down through your tail, and rise up with your arms by your ears. Lift your whole rib cage out of your waist. We're going to go inhale to lengthen up. On the exhale, twist open to the right. Dig into your legs to ground. Keep your back arm going down. Your left arm stays where it is. Your right arm goes forward and both arms come up. We're going to do that 2 more times. So twist upper body to the right. Both arms come down shoulder height. Your left arm stays. Your right arm keeps going. And unwinds. You hug your hips together as you go 1 more round. Back arm comes down, forward, both arms come up. Now bring your hands together behind your head, interlace your 10 fingers. Do the brain cradle. This is where you pull your hands forward and up against your head, push your head backward and up against your hands. Notice how it lifts up your chest from someplace deep down under your heart. And you keep it, a little bit of a back bend, squeeze your left glutes, drag your legs in and lift your heart up. Now come back to neutral. Point your tailbone straight down to the earth. Lift your rib cage up. You're like a Russian doll trying to open the top half off the bottom half. Keep that lift. Elbows in like blinders. Tuck your chin and curl your upper spine down. It's rounded like you're rolling up a yoga mat. You are not bending at your hips at all. You're really lifting neutral pelvis, curling your upper spine and still trying to open your Russian doll as you breathe. Are your left glutes engaged? You need to remind them. Come all the way back up and reach up high to the sky. Bring your hands down behind your low back, interlace your 10 fingers. Tuck your back toes under and pull your fists down. You can stay right here for a moment as needed. You put your hands on the floor if you need help coming up. Push into your legs and lift your back knee off the earth. You have 2 options. You can stay in a parallel leg lunge, or you can turn your left foot out if that helps you feel a little more grounded. They're both challenging in different ways. We're going to flow in and out of a little humble bow. So we take a big inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bow forward. Keep your hips square to the short edge of your mat. Inhale to anchor through your heels and roll back up, or your feet rather. And do it again 2 more times. Exhale to bow. Root through your tail, inhale to rise. 1 more time. Reach your arms up high to the sky. Everyone left heel to the floor so that you can turn to the left side of your mat. And I'm going to flip around so I can face the camera here. You have wide legs, parallel feet. You're going to reach your arms out to the sides. Take a breath in. Exhale to bow, fold. Bring your hands to your calves, your ankles, your big toes, whatever you can grip onto. And then shift your weight slightly toward your toes. Your knees are unlocked. You're pushing into the outer edges of your feet as you pull on your legs. Lengthen through your spine more. Shoulders off your neck. Then focus your breath through your spine as if your spine is a straw for the oxygen. Pull it in and let it out. Push through your legs, reach your arms out wide and lift a long spine with your weight still toward your toes. Then you can work through your quarter abs. Your arms down, turn your toes outward and your heels in. Not super wide so you feel wobbly, just enough that when you bend your knees, they go in line with your toes. Your hands to your backs. Press them open wide and sit low. You can do a little rock side to side. Now push through your feet and stand up tall and reach up high. Inhale. Exhale, cross your hands behind your head. Press your arms out wide, knees bend. Sit to goddess and press your heart line open. Drop your arms and inhale. Lift your elbows up, backs of the hands together. Press into your heels. And bring your hands together and down through heart center as you bend. So I'm going to do that little dance 2 more times. So go inhale, sweep up and wide. Push down through your heels. Exhale, cross your arms and press your heart line open wide to the sides. Drop your arms, and with your inhale, the backs of your hands come together, elbows up to lift your ribs. And then hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, as you sit, knees wide, chest proud. One more time. Good. You're going to turn your feet parallel again and bow forward fold. You're going to turn to your right, back to the original way we were facing. I'm turning to my left. And you're going to plant your hands and step your left foot back to next to right foot. Shift your weight forward on an inhale, proud chest. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, bend your elbows back. Untuck your toes and lift to low, mid, or high cobra. Back into a downward facing dog. And start to walk your feet up toward your hands. Bend your knees as generously as you need. And as you arrive at the top of the mat, bring your hands to your shins. Lift your spine up halfway. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Step just your right foot back and lower your knee down to the earth. Dig into your legs, dragging them together. Rise up. Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Legs again are like scissors. You know this analogy if you've taken my class. You're going to lift up as you drag in. Pull the energy up out your crown. We're going to go inhales, get a little higher. Exhales, hug your hips together. You twist to your left. Your right arm stays solid. Your left arm goes down and around. Windmills back up. Both arms to the sky with your inhale. Exhale, twist. Right arm does a space hold. Left arm keeps on flowing. Last time. Hands behind your head, interlace them the weird way. And then back your hips up just slightly so that you can really point your tail straight down to the floor. Your right glutes are so crucial here. Firm them up, keep them on. Lift up with the brain cradle, hands to head to hands. Push together and lift up. Hug your elbows in, tuck your chin. Curl in your upper spine. Do not fold forward. Keep lifting like a Russian doll, top opening off the bottom. And round it. Right glutes arm. All the way back up. Reach high up to the sky. And bring your hands down behind your low back. Interlace your 10 fingers, tuck your back toes. You can always stay here for a moment or use your hands on the ground to help yourself with that. You're going to lift your back knee off the earth, and your choices are to stay on the ball of your foot, which is a balance challenge in its own right, or to turn your leg out, which is a challenge to get the whole line of the leg to anchor and turn on for Humble Warrior. So when you're ready, lift your heart up. And with your exhale, you're going to hinge from your hips forward and bow over your left leg. Then anchor your tail down, root through your feet, and rise back up with your inhale. And do it again, rippling through your spine. This last time, reach your arms both high to the sky. Turn all 10 toes to the right side of your mat. Face the long edge, or whichever edge allows you to face the screen still. And reach your arms out wide. And take a long breath in. Bow with your weight slightly toward your toes and your knees unlocked. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And bend one leg, doesn't matter which, but make sure that your knee is in line with your toes as you come down. Keep the sole of your foot on the floor. So we won't be going very deep for most of us at first, and that's fine. Sole, the heel of your foot is on the floor. Even if that means you're way up here, that's great. Keep opening your knee toward pinky toe. When you're ready, you're gonna slowly make a transition to your second side. And as you come over again, you're watching that your knee is in line with your toes. And as you're ready, you'll come right back through the center. Parallel legs. I'm gonna take a little bit of crow play time. So roll your shoulders out a few times here, maybe even sway your head side to side, let your neck be free. We're gonna slide the shoulder blades way down the back toward the hips and then wrap them around as if you could take them around and button them up together in the front like little vests right there. So imagine you could root your shoulder blades down and around like that to keep your chest really proud. With your toes turned out, we're gonna come over to one side. With that arrangement in the upper body, strong and set. Take your bent leg, inner thigh to your outer elbow and squeeze in. Shift your weight into your right heel, or your other leg's heel, and lift that foot for a little half crow. And you can come over to the other side as you're ready. Keep your belly on strong, hug leg to arm, and shift your weight forward. And keep it going. Press into your finger pads and your base knuckles, especially these knuckles here. Little tripod of the hand. Broad collarbones. Steady breath. I know it's tempting to want to stick your elbow out to the side, but it's not going to help your shoulder. Hug your elbows in. Now when you're done with your playtime, you can come right back through the center, parallel legs. Turn your body to the left or toward the original front of your mat, and slide your front leg back into a plank pose. Vinyasa, your style, your pace. Start to walk your hands and your feet toward each other in the middle of the mat. Bring your hands to your shins and lift your spine up halfway. Drape your spine down again, heavy head, and start to bend your knees and squat down into a little parallel leg squat. And some of you might be able to sit your heels to the floor in a deep squat full chair. Some of you might be able to sit down without the use of your hands, hips to the ground. You can always use your hands as needed. You're gonna lie down on your back. It's time for our intermission breath. Yes, this is my favorite part. So you get to just relax out of all the work we've been doing. And take a long sigh of relief before we begin. You reach the bottom of that exhale. Begin your 30 rounds. You have more space now. Use it. Heavy legs. Soft face. Well over halfway. Start to feel deeper into your body. Places that need to relax more. You're nearing the end. Last 5. Biggest breaths of your life. Take as much time as you need to take these last ones. Maximum lung capacity. Let it fall out of you, fall out of you, fall out of you. And when it's done falling out, then press it out. Lift your pelvic floor. Press your belly to your spine. Let everything else relax in your body, but your deep, deep intrinsic core muscles are really compressing in to encourage all the air out. You're going to stay and hold your breath empty for as long as you can. Empty lungs. You're going to train your mind here. Tell your body, look, this is fine. We've been breathing. We've been saturating ourselves with oxygen, with prana. You'll be surprised at how long you can hold this. But if your body goes into panic, let it be free. No stress. Let yourself breathe. Everything softens, including your pelvic floor, your belly. Let it all blow up like a balloon with breath. And then let your breath flow however it wants. Do whatever you need to feel like you've recovered before our last Kumbhaka. One more. Gigantic inhale when you're ready. All the way out to the bottom, empty lungs. Press all the stale air out. And then the biggest inhale of your life. Hold. Keep holding. Be soft around this moment. Melt like butter around this moment. Full lungs, big balloon in your body. Everything else melting. And when you feel like you're calm enough and you're heavy enough and you have space, take another big gulp of air and hold it. You'll feel your heart will, the heartbeat will increase. It will speed up. You'll feel a little pressure around your heart. That's your diaphragm stretching things open around you. It's so good for your cardiovascular. Now lift up on your pelvic floor, tighten in your low belly, and pop up your superhero chest if you've still got full lungs. And if you don't, that's fine. There's no judgment. Let your breath go whenever you need to. The reason I have you do that little lift is to open up your main access to your main energy panel. Sushumna Nadi. A lot of us collapse in and get that forward head syndrome, and we cut it off. So that'll really help you open it up and access your energy more fully. When you're ready, you're going to take your own journey, roll to one side. I encourage you to go slowly because you might be a little bit lightheaded after that breath. But you also might just feel invigorated, alive, awake, centered. So when you're ready to come around and get into your tabletop position, you just turned on your body's natural painkillers. You just cut stress by a huge percentage. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hover. You're wrapping your shoulder blades around, down your back and around to the front of your ribs. Push the earth away and breathe. You are super primed for that breath. Press your hips backward and up, find your down dog. Now you're going to pick a foot to bring forward that allows you to turn toward the long edge of the mat where you can still see the screen. Oh. Then lift your spine up halfway, turn your toes out and heels in, and bend your knees and come into your sumo squat. So you can lean forward in your sumo squat, no problem. Your knees are stacked over your ankles. Push into your footprints and stand up. The more your feet are awake and alive on the mat, the more you have suction cup arches and you're digging into your footprints, the more your hips are going to wake up for you and work for you, and the stronger you're going through this. So you're going to reach the arms out wide side to side. Shoulder blades root down, bend your knees right above your ankles. I'm going to get a little weird here. You're going to swivel on your right foot, lift up your heel and swivel inward, turn your knee down. You're going to turn your body and more or less adjust so that you're facing both legs parallel. You won't be facing the side of your mat. You'll be on a funny angle because your left foot didn't move. Now squeeze your right glutes and get down low. Your arms now, your right arm came over to your left arm. And we're gonna keep everything below the waistline as it is. Hug your hips together, lift up your pelvic floor, and breathe. The arms are gonna go. Elbows pull way back, chest open, shoulder blades squeeze in, and then reach your arms forward, scoop your tail under and round your spine, like you're gonna hug a big ball. And then pull elbows back, chest up, and reach forward and hollow your belly, scoop your tail under you, reach, round, hug. And pull your elbows back one more time, chest up, squeeze shoulder blades together. And exhale and round your spine like cat pose. Now come up high, reach up. And then open your arms out, bend your left knee and shift your weight forward. On this funny angle on your mat, you're gonna shift your weight to your left leg and lift your right leg up to an airplane and knee root. 2 hips square to the floor, so do your best to avoid lifting your right hip. Turn your thigh bones in, dig through both legs like you're standing on 2 oddly angled floors. Bend your left knee, bend your right knee too, and come all the way up. Take your right leg up and over your left leg. You have a couple of options. You can put your shin on the ground, toes on the floor, if you're struggling with balance. Or you can bring thigh high up over your left thigh and squeeze in, wrap your legs together like ropes. Now your right arm comes under your left arm, and you might hold your shoulders, or you might double wrap at the wrists. Find your focus, sit low, chest high. Stack your shoulders over your hips. I know it's tempting to be here, but this does very little for our hip strength and exacerbates patterns that we don't want. So sit back, sit tall. You're gonna stand up and reach up, right knee up and arms up. Kick your leg out in front. Sweep it through without touching the floor. Hinge on your left hip. Now this is funny too, because you're gonna bend your left knee and put your right foot more or less back where you started. You have to squeeze over a little. And then you're gonna reach your arms out and open your knees wide. Come right back where you came from. You might have to do a little wiggle dance, a little adjusting. Boom. Awake feet, grounded, strong in your hips. Left knee swivels in. You're lifting up your heel, turning on the ball of your foot. Turn in to the right. Get yourself adjusted so you're on that funny angle. Squeeze your left glutes. Your knee stays bent, your pelvis stays neutral. We're doing all of this flow in the upper body, and we scoop the tail under a little bit here. So we inhale, reach your elbows back, chest up. Exhale, reach your arms forward, hollow your belly. That's where you scoop your tail just a little bit. Inhale, pull, elbows back, chest lift, shoulder blades squeeze down and back. Exhale, hollow your belly, round forward, hug a big ball. One more time. Now come up, stretch your legs, arms up. Open your arms out wide, root your shoulders down, and bend your right knee. You're going to shift your weight forward and lift your left leg up and fly into your airplane. Bend your knees. Rise with your spine, left leg forward and up. Either toes on the ground or thigh over thigh. Squeeze in. Left arm under right arm. Rise up, arms up, leg up. Open your arms as you extend your left leg out. Dig through your right heel. And sweep your leg back and through without touching the floor. Funny transition. Bend your right knee, move your left foot over and place it on the ground. 2 bent legs. Open your arms and your legs out wide. Now just turn your right heel out toward that short edge of the mat behind you now. Left toes toward the left short edge of the mat. Your left thigh is now parallel to your mat and you're in warrior 2. First, dig into the outer edge of your back foot. Feel how that anchors right up into your hip. Then pull your feet together. Keep that outer edge of the foot dig. Your lower body is gonna stay. Check that your pelvis is not tilted, right? You don't have one hip tip or pelvic crest higher than the other. Can they both be level with the earth? So your back hip is working hard too. And we're gonna keep it. And the upper body with strong arms, like you're pushing on a table, is gonna go forward and backward. Nothing else moves, just the upper torso over the pelvis. Can you get a little bigger? One more time. Come back to the center, and now bring both arms around to the left. Bring your hands to heart center. You're gonna try and keep, again, everything under the waistline exactly as this. Upper body's gonna twist to the left, squeeze your right glutes. And now keep your left leg where it is anchored, and turn your whole torso, or your rib cage rather, to the right as far as you can. Do not let your left knee follow. Keep pressing it to the left as you turn right. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, twist left. Nothing below the waistline moves. Anchor through your legs. And on your exhales, twist back to the right. Through normal warrior 2, place your forearm on your thigh. And again, not tilting your pelvis, keeping it lifted up off your thigh bone. Reach your right arm out past your ear and extend. Pull your legs together like they're magnetic. All the way back up through your warrior 2 and straighten your left leg to turn your toes in, right toes out. You might find you want to turn your left heel back slightly and bend your right knee. Your right thigh bone is parallel to your left. Your knee ends up above your ankle. Activate your feet, wake them up, spread them wide, dig them down. The glutes are on. Pelvis stays neutral. Double check your pelvic tips. Make sure that your right one isn't lower than your left one. You feel your left glutes working harder. Keep it. Reach your arms out. Now imagine you're in the Olympics, right? You're this gymnast and you jumped up. Forget your lower body. You jumped up and grabbed onto the double rings. And you know that sacred cross that I do where they like pull their shoulder blades down and they pull their whole body up off the earth? That's what you need to do. That kind of strength in your arm. So really imagine you're pulling yourself up with the strength of your arms out wide. And we're gonna go forward to the roll to the right and back to the left. Just a couple more, can we get a little bigger? We'll come back to neutral, and again, keep your pelvis in this steady position. Your left arm is gonna come all the way around. Turn your rib cage to face your right leg. Bring your hands to heart center. Really try to turn your ribs without letting anything in the lower body shift. Anchor through the legs, pull in, twist upper body over. Now twist over to your left side. Keep your right knee opening toward your pinky toe. Don't let it follow you. And then do that just a couple more times with your breath. Inhale to the right. Exhale to your left. And right. Left. And back to a normal warrior 2. Without dumping your pelvis, keep it lifted. Put your forearm lightly on your thigh or reach down by your foot and let your left arm extend over your ear. Back through a normal warrior 2, straighten your leg. Turn your toes in, parallel legs. Reach high to the sky, inhale. Exhale to bow. Lift up your spine and turn your body toward the left. Swivel on both feet. Bend your left knee. And you're gonna take your back leg, right leg, and tuck it in behind your left heel. Sit on your right hip. If as you come down to both hips, your right knee complains, get on your right hip, extend your leg out, and then do it again. Still cross your left knee over your right knee. And maybe you can do this with 2 bent legs. Cow face. We've been all about this pose lately, but we're gonna do it in a funny way today. So first, I'm gonna take the arms out to the sides. Try to anchor through both hips, even if that means you need to stick a pillow or a cushion underneath one of your hips. Then bring one arm, you're gonna bring your, let's see, your left leg should be on top. So you're gonna use your left arm up and over to your right side. Try to anchor your left hip into your foundation. And go slowly here and saturate the parts of yourself that you feel this most with breath as you bring your fingertips down toward the floor. What spaces are calling for your attention for breath? Sweep around and draw a semicircle, a rainbow, in front of your knees. Go slowly and fill up all those tense spaces with more breath. My teacher Libby is always quoting one of her teachers who likes to talk about extra sets of lungs, imaginary lungs, in all these tight places in our bodies. I love that. I love you, I love you. All the way back up. You know we're gonna do it again, up and over the board. Just as slowly, fingertips to the floor. Which might be a really deep forward fold for some, and it might just be kind of reaching toward the earth for others. That's great. Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this next part a little bit better. This will be different for us if you have one straight leg. If you have one straight leg, your goal is going to be to keep this left foot really close to your right hip and to keep your left knee down on your right knee and so lean back. Some of you might be able to hold your foot as you lean back a little or go to your forearms and press your left knee down on your right. That's a little easier to do than if you have both legs bent, because both legs bent means 2 hips stay on the ground, and this time you're trying to keep both knees compressed down one on the other, which won't be completely possible for all of us. Some of you will just lean back a little. Some of you will be able to come down to your forearms. Ooh. Some of you will be able to hold your feet while you do this or go all the way down to your back. Oh, ever since I dislocated my sacrum, I can't do this one anymore, but it's still so good. Sometimes an answer to the question, how do I get into those tight spaces right out here, right? For some of us, it gets right there. TFLs, so good. All right, when you're ready, you're gonna come all the way back up. I'm gonna turn back to the way I was facing so you can see this transition. Y'all know my silly transition. We're gonna go toward the right side, toward your left foot. Plant your hands, push into your feet. Lift up the hips and swirl it around to the right. Tuck your left knee behind your right heel. Now, if your left leg complains, of course, extend it out and sit your hips down. But if it doesn't, try to ground 2 hips, even if you have to use a cushion, and stamp one knee on top of the other. Same as before, we're gonna go to the left this time though. So, bring your right arm up and over, lean to your left, anchor down through your right hip, and find all those places that need to have your imaginary lungs, wherever you're feeling this the most in your body. The transition to reach toward the floor or forward hold is slow. All the way back when you're ready. You know you've got one more round of breath practice coming, so start to use it now. Saturate your body. Everything else we do on the mat is only for the service of the breath anyway. So the whole point to everything physical we're doing is so that we can breathe more and better. Anything else? It's decoration. Your hands, when you come up, go toward your right foot to your left side. Push down, put your hips, woo, unwind, and do whatever you want to do to come down onto your back. We did some good, strong core twisting today, but if you need an extra little ring out, that's great. Take your time. If you need a back bend, that's a really good idea. Bridge pose will cut it. If you'd like to take our breath practice in a supported back bend, get a block, get a stool, get a pillow, stick it under your hips, and let yourself relax as we do this next breath practice. Bent legs are great, but I recommend wide feet. Turn your knees and toes in. Lengthen your legs and your arms. All right. Sigh of relief, and we'll take 30 rounds. You know what to do. Here we go. Halfway there. Keep pulling it in. Last 5, make them count. Flow it all the way out. Let it fall out until it's empty, and then press it out because it's deeper than you think to the bottom of empty lungs, and hold it. Stay. Maybe you can suction cup your pelvic floor once more, tone in your corset once more, really feel the deepest of your core muscles working, but everything else is melting. You might be able to hold this a surprisingly long time. There is no judgment about when you need to breathe, just do it. And notice how very different the alarm bells were this time. It's less panic, right? Your brain knows what's coming now, your body knows that it's okay a little bit better, and it stops pumping so much adrenaline and cortisol into your blood. If you're still with me, because I realize I'm being a naughty monkey and going over on time, take one more big inhale. Blow it all the way out. Really press it out. Get the stale air out of the bottom of your lungs. And then biggest breath of your life and hold it at the top. Relax around this moment, then take another big sip in and hold that. If you're still holding, lift up your pelvic floor, tighten your belly, puff up your superhero chest, and tuck your shoulder blades, spread open your primary access, Sushumna Nadi, your main energy channel. And when you have to breathe, breathe, let it go. You're done, just feel it and ease into the rest of this Shavasana. When you're ready, start to breathe again intentionally, wiggle fingers and toes and move until you feel inspired to roll onto your side. Gravity is still winning. There's very little you have to do. Aside from maybe roll your weight to your arms and press yourself up when you feel like it. Let's seal the practice together. Comfortable seated position. Roll your shoulders onto the back of your body and hands to heart center. Find your tall spine and notice how much easier it is to breathe now than it was when you walked on here. You feel a little more space between you, capital Y, and you, lowercase y. Thoughts and feelings that have been plaguing you lately. Trace an exhale to the bottom. Reach wide and up, inhaling. Bring it to your heart. May you breathe more. Look for the quiet moments in between the breath. Namaste. Yay. Happy Monday.